This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to Finish Lines and Milestones, a podcast for everyday runners. I'm your host, Allie Bretnacher, and if you run, you're a runner, and every runner has a story. Join me each week as I share these stories and we celebrate finish lines and milestones together. This week's episode is brought to you by our friends at Amazfit. Amazfit has been around since 2015, and they are a global smart wearable brand that designs smartwatches, fitness trackers, and health technology for active lifestyles like ours. I personally have their Balance 2 smartwatch, and the battery life is my favorite thing by far. 21 days of battery life. I charge it when I'm in the shower, and that's it. Whereas with my Garmin, didn't have the battery life I needed. I would always stress and worry about it being charged. And the other great thing is the price point. It is a lot less expensive than other watches out there. So if you are looking to up-level your watch, but you don't want to spend $1,000, you can check out Amazfit. And for example, my Balance 2 is $299, whereas for the same functionality, you might spend double or more of that. So if in this new year you are looking for a new watch, go to amazfit.com and you can use code ALLYB, ALLYB, for 10% off your order. Again, amazfit.com, AMAZFIT. And thank you so much to Amazfit for supporting this podcast. This week's episode is my friend Shannon Spencer. Shannon and I met at a race last September with Ainsley's Angels. So we're going to talk a lot about the Ainsley's Angels organization today. As Shannon says in her words, she has a servant's heart. I was so inspired by all the things that Shannon does. And it was crazy. During this interview, she had to leave because she happens to be the president of their local chapter of Meals on Wheels. And she was the backup driver and had to go give somebody their food for the day. So there were some technical difficulties with this interview, but all in all, it worked out pretty well. The audio in the middle's a little weird on my side, and then the video is there, but can also be a little weird. But it was a wonderful conversation. She not only does Ainsley's Angels, Meals on Wheels, but she also works with the Kokomo Symphony and an organization called 100 People Who Care. She's almost 49 and going to be 50 next year. She's a grandma and a mom. She's a marathoner, ultra marathoner, CrossFitter. You're just going to be so incredibly inspired by Shannon's attitude. I certainly was myself. So without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Shannon Spencer. Great. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning.
We are recording in the midst of the blizzard, or the aftermath, I should say, of the blizzard.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're sitting in Kokomo, Indiana, which is about, 40, 45 minutes north of where I am in Carmel. How much snow did you get up there?
They're saying about 8 to 10 inches, so maybe 9.
Okay.
I'll go in the middle.
Yeah. And your husband is a firefighter, which I find so interesting. So what's the last 48 hours been like for him?
Well, he works 24 on and 24 off. So he worked Friday and Sunday. So he had Saturday off when it was kind of coming down. And then Sunday, when everybody wanted to drive and things like that.
My gosh, what an adventure. So he is kind of an endurance athlete in his own right.
Oh yeah. With no sleep too.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing. Well, we are so grateful for people like him during times like this. That's for sure. Could not survive without that. I've been hearing sirens all the last couple of days. We live really close to a firehouse. So whenever they're going out, we hear them.
People see them at the grocery store and they're like, oh, you're shopping, but what they don't understand is just like you and I with our jobs that we have, we're responsible for our food too. So they have to go to the grocery store, usually on a daily basis, and figure out, what they want to eat. They have, things in the cabinets, cupboards, whatever you want to call them. But they still need, daily things like hamburger, chicken, whatever it might be. But so they pay for their own food, and so they go to the grocery store. A lot of people think the city pays for that, but it's out of their own pocket.
That's so interesting. And I'm assuming they don't have anybody like cooking for them at the station. So they're just fending for themselves on no sleep.
Yep. They cook for themselves 3 meals a day or whatever they decide they want to eat.
Wow. That's so interesting. So you and I met in person last September, and we were just randomly paired together for Hit the Bricks 5K.
Yes.
It was awesome. I thought it was so funny how, you just get paired with a stranger And like within whatever, 20 minutes, we're off. And you and I are both like, oh yeah, we'll just like kind of take it easy until Christy said, hey, I'd really love you guys to win with Kendall Jade.
I mean, it's hard to say no when, something like that. I had just ran the Air Force marathon, and then you were training for a marathon.
Yeah, I remember saying to you thinking like, oh, I'm such a badass. I was like, I ran 20 miles yesterday, and so I don't know how this is going to go today. And you're like, well, I just pushed for a marathon last weekend. It's just like, oh my gosh. So both of us were somewhat wounded going in, but we somehow flew through that 3 miles. At least it felt like you were dragging me, I should say.
I think it's the competitor in me knowing that, I've ran with Kendall Jade before and you know how it is to be first in something.
Yeah. Well, kind of. I don't really get to experience that much these days. So
Same, but
it was great. So for people listening, they've probably, if they listen to this podcast, they've heard me talk about Ainsley's Angels, but it's possible that somebody listening doesn't know what Ainsley's Angels is, or when we're talking about pushing, they're like, what are you talking about? So will you give a quick overview of what Ainsley's Angels is and then how you got involved with the organization?
yeah, so Ainsley's Angels is an organization that supports inclusion through helping disabled children, even adults, become athletes through maybe a 5K, a half marathon, or even a triathlon now. So, yeah, so when we talk about pushing, we're pushing a specially designed chair. We like to call them chariots. So, this chariot allows for us to push our angel athlete the distance. So some are built a little bit different than others because every athlete needs something different. My favorite would be the Hoyt. It is a racing chair, so it allows you to get up and go maybe a little bit more. But some of the other chairs are, just as good. I actually, many moons ago, had a friend run into Christy at Planet Fitness, and she asked my friend if she was a runner, and she was like, yes. And so she told her a little bit about it. And then they were doing a fundraiser for a chili cook off in, I think it was February, and asked if my organization at the time wanted to donate a basket. And we said, yeah. So that was kind of, how we met.
Wow. I just love knowing Christy. It's so great knowing that she's hustling in that Planet Fitness, finding people to be part of the organization. I really love her. For people who don't know Christy, she is the VP of education for all of Ainsley's Angels now, but she lives where you live in Kokomo. I've gotten to meet her at the Indy Mini the last few years, and of course out at Marine Corps, but we'll get there. So that's how you got involved. What was your first race? You remember?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. It's been so long. The very first time, though, we all met at Jackson Morrow Park and we did like a little test run. So it's a 1 mile loop around the course. And so you just push an athlete. And so that was my very first, I want to say, trial experience.
People always tell me, they're like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? That's so hard. But what I think people don't realize, like you just said about the Hoyt chair, is that these chariots are designed for this purpose. It's even easier than a stroller, in my opinion. So tell people that they can do this.
Absolutely. I CrossFit, and so CrossFitters hate running. And so one thing I kind of pride myself on is I feel like I'm an influencer in the gym, and the fact that we even have a CrossFit Kokomo run club right now because so many of them have decided to run. But the really cool thing is 3 years ago, Kevin took this and allowed me to bring it to his gym. And CrossFitters are like, wow, this is something to lean on to. Or, they're like, this is a lot easier than what I thought it would be. And it takes your mind off of the actual fact of running. So, yeah,
Yeah.
anybody can do it.
Yeah. And I mean, you can do a 5K, you can walk and push if you want. Like, I think people don't understand how approachable it really is. And I think that's so cool because, again, the organization's about inclusion. So they're not looking for the fastest runners to run. They just want to include everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. With the triathlons, I mean, people swim, bike, run. I mean, you don't have to be a fast swimmer or a fast biker either.
Yeah. So incredible. And now I've seen, some trail races. They have like adventure chairs with these huge wheels. And it's just really, really cool to see what they continue to come up with to include athletes in all kinds of different sports or terrains.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many races do you think you've done with Ainsley's Angels, if you know? How about Marine Corps? How many times have you done Marine
Just
Corps?
once. That was my very first
Okay.
time pushing by myself for 26.2 miles, and I pushed Owen. Yeah, so that was a feat all on its own.
Yeah. So I was supposed to push alone, solo for 26.2 miles at Marine Corps last year, and it freaked me out. Like so much so that I was panic messaging a stranger on the internet who ended up running the entire marathon with me. Like without him, the race would have been a lot different for me. So I applaud you for doing it solo. For me, I just had this fear that I wouldn't be able to do it, even though I had trained for it. But I know I could have, but it was great to be able to share the miles with somebody else. My athlete, Melissa, was nonverbal too. So it can be lonely if you're by yourself. Tell us a little bit about Owen. I've heard his name before. I've never met him, I don't think.
Yeah, so, and actually I pushed by myself, but I did have a friend run with me. So
That's
yeah,
helpful.
I wanted to push, but my friend was there. So at the time, Owen was 16, and Owen doesn't have any legs. And when he was 3, I'll give you the short story. He was burned 98% of his body. And I met Owen, gosh, probably 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, somewhere in there. And he did the 4x4x48 with me. We just became good friends. And his mom, again, all through Christy and Ramsey, meeting Owen. And Ramsey had a heart attack. So this is what he does to me. He's like, "Hey, Shannon, you should
Oh my
run the
gosh.
Marine Corps Marathon with Owen and I. And, I really think you'd like it." And I was like, "Sure, I'd love to go to Washington, D.C." And then he goes and has a heart attack on me. I mean, who does that?
Ramsey. Tell people who Ramsey is.
So Ramsey Grice is Christy High's brother-in-law, which is Kendall Jade's uncle.
So he has been at almost every single
Every
race that I've been at with Ainsley's Angels. He is there. He had a heart attack. How long before the race did that happen?
This was maybe like, don't quote me, maybe like June, and the race is in
Okay.
October. It might have even been August. But we've been
Yeah.
training for a little bit, and it just wasn't a good idea, his doctors said, after they put a stent in, for him to go that distance. He did come. Him and Christy and Misty being Christy's sister, his wife, they were all there cheering me on, tears, at the end and at the beginning, because we were all sad that, Ramsey wasn't going to be there with us. But he was there with us. Every mile I wanted to
That's cool.
quit, he was in my head.
Yeah, right. Like, come on, do this for Ramsey. And where is Owen from? Where does he live?
He lives in Brownsburg.
Okay. Are there multiple Owens, maybe? I've heard of, I don't know.
Maybe?
Because Matt May, have you met Matt May?
I don't think so.
Okay. Matt lives in Louisiana and he was recently on my podcast. I met him at Marine Corps and he became a friend through the internet first. Then we met in person and he was a saving grace for me, certainly the morning of and leading up to the race. But he has pushed an Owen before as well. So I don't know if it's the same Owen or if there's multiple. There's so many athletes and angel runners in this organization that it's hard to keep track. And it's so inspiring to hear all the stories about whether it's the athlete in the chariot or whoever's pushing, like why they're there. It's just truly incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the Marine Corps was amazing, being able to push Owen and finishing the Marines yelling at you up the hill, up that hill. Owen he has some artificial legs that he can put on and he can finish some of the races in, and sometimes he does that. So that's really
Wow.
neat.
That is really special. Out of the 4 or maybe 5 finish lines I've had with Ainsley's Angels now, I've had one athlete that was able to get out and run. It was Emma Lynn. She is one of 2 twins and they have Down syndrome, 16 years old. And oh my gosh, Shannon, I had to sprint after her.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. But that's really cool to be able to, watch your athlete cross the finish line if they're able, is really special too.
The Air Force, I pushed Camden Fogelman.
Okay.
I've pushed him at the Indy Mini too, and when he gets out, you got to be ready. You better have those sprinting legs on because you're sprinting that finish.
Uh, yeah. Tell people a little bit about the Air Force Marathon. I have never been, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, so you're on an active base. So completely different from the Marine Corps. You're actually on the base. We had to be like wanded and you had to pass security to be able to get on the base, first of all. So here you are, 6 o'clock in the morning going through something like that. So that was really neat. But yeah, so I actually had talked to a fellow friend who had never ran a marathon before into pushing with me. So her very first marathon, Alicia,
Wow.
not only did she run, but she also pushed. So there were three of us. We do have a thing when you run with Ainsley's that nobody gets left behind. Have you ever done a Tough Mudder? Kind of the same aspect.
I have not.
No Mudder
Hmm.
left behind, but we'd already kind of talked about it and we knew, where we were. And so Christy's okay with it as long as we have that understanding. So we started out with
Hmm.
three of us, and then Len, we knew like at the half that we were probably going to part ways. So at the half, Alicia and I finished the second half together.
Okay. And it's in Ohio, correct?
Yeah, at the right past
Okay.
the Patterson base. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Alicia, props to you if you're listening. My goodness, your first marathon. And for people listening again who are like, I could never do that. It's like, well, try doing it for your first marathon ever.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
And I just want to throw this out there. I will be 49 in a couple weeks, but Alicia's 50, and my other running partner is 62. So age is just a number.
Amen. When you wrote that in the email to me that you were going to be 49, I was like, no, you're not. And all the grandkids you have. I mean, I want to be like you when I grow up, which is not too much further away. I'm 40 this year. So,
That's a big one. You got some
yeah.
big plans?
No, actually, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I've talked about going to Louisiana for the Sunset 5K with Ainsley's because it's my birthday weekend.
Okay.
But then the other side of me is like, or do my husband and I get away somewhere? It's a great excuse to do that. So I'm kind of going back and forth. I got to figure it out because it's, January, February when this comes out or just before. So I gotta figure that out. But yeah, what about you for your milestone of 50 next year?
I mean, this year I'd like to run a 50-mile race, and next year I'd like to run 100. So,
Geez, Shannon. Wow. Okay, before we leave Ainsley's Angels, I'm sure we'll talk about it still throughout our conversation, but I do want to talk about the 4x4 by 48 because that is coming up. And so for people who are local, I want them to know everything about it because you organized that entire race.
yeah.
Is that
I
right?
do. So when COVID happened, Christy couldn't do the chili cook-off. So we all have these people that we look up to, right? So David Goggins, Navy SEAL, who I think almost everybody knows, but if you don't, he's a little out there. My family says I'm crazy because I really have always lived by that motto. When they want to give me excuse, I'm tired, my legs hurt, whatever. I always have, something for them. So they get frustrated. But David Goggins the same way. So he had started the 4x4x48. You run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. And he encouraged you to find a nonprofit and raise money for him. You could do it at home or whatever. So at the time, I was driving back and forth to Lafayette and listening to podcasts. And I called Christy and I said, I got this crazy idea. You can't host this. And we run. I would really love to run 48 miles. And she thought probably just what you're thinking. That's crazy. But she said, let's do it. So she took a leap of faith on me, really, that, I'd be willing to do this and I was actually going to go through with it. So that's what we did. This is going to be our 6th year. I can't believe it saying it. 6 years that we've done it.
Wow.
And I mean, our mayor runs with us, Tyler Moore. He's amazing. We've had our fire chief, Chris Frazier. He's not our fire chief now, but at the time he was, run with us. I've had police officers, nurses, doctors. I mean, it's just really neat that the community comes together. And again, back to you don't have to run the whole 48. You don't even have to run the whole 4 miles. I have people, my husband, he's not a runner. He bikes the 40.
Gonna ask you that.
Yeah, he
Okay.
bikes the 48 miles with me. So he gets up in the middle of the night. We spend the night at the gym because we want it to be a big deal. So
Hmm.
people in the community bake us things, bring us breakfast, donuts, like no food shortage. So it'll start at 6 o'clock on Friday night, March 6th. Maybe we can do some 6, 7 in there somehow. I don't know. But so it starts March 6th at 6 p.m. and we run 4 miles. So I don't run them fast because it is 48 miles I'm running and running on no sleep, and I don't want to be injured. So we run about 10, 30 minute pace somewhere in there and get back and then do it again at 10 and then do it again at 2 and do it again at 6. So we just go through that whole process. Back to that, my husband rides. My best friend, Lynn Her, she started the 48 with me. She's 62
Yeah.
and
Wow.
she runs it with me too. And her husband Doug bikes. So Lynn and I have done it all 6 years, and our husbands. Along the way, we've had a few friends kind of come alongside and do all 48 with us. But we're we started it, and here we are 6 years later.
That's so cool. What's the format? Like, where do you run? Is it a loop? Like, what does that look like?
So my CrossFit gym just happens to be right next to our trail. So
Perfect.
we just go up maybe 800, maybe a little over 800 to the trail. And then we take the trail, we go 2 miles out, and then we come back down. So it's an out and back course that is on Dixon, which is kind of a main road for us. So we either stay on the sidewalk, or the mayor's been great to blocking one lane off when it gets big. So at 2 o'clock on the 7th of March, we will do a proclamation. The mayor comes, and we've lost a few angels along our way, unfortunately, angel riders. And so he'll do a proclamation and we honor them, which is really cool to do because they're local angels
Yeah.
we've lost. So
Oh,
not
yeah.
not the bigger ones don't matter, but it does show a greater impact, for those people coming in families.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this 4x4 by 48, is it all Ainsley's Angels? Like, is everybody Ainsley's Angels teams, or are there other runners that are solo?
Yeah, so it's been kind of exciting because we will get random people show up and say, "Hey, we just wanted to come and check things out. We hear about this." Over the years, Channel 13, Fox 59, and the newspaper have picked it up. So that's been exciting. And so it's brought some coverage, to that. So I encourage anybody, you just need to put 4 miles in that day, or maybe you want to try 12 and so you come and do 3 legs of 4 with us, which would be awesome. We have a bounce house for the kids. We bring Christy had a petting zoo come last year, which was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And it wouldn't be a race or a run of any kind if there wasn't apparel. So just like my shirt I have on today, Christy brings the trailer, which is full of merchandise. So you can get your apparel there, so you can get a run and a t-shirt. And actually, this year, our first time ever, we have a special 4x4 by 48 challenge t-shirts. So I'm excited about that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I should make stickers for you. I just made some stickers for Christy. I should make you some stickers.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
So I mean, just like any race, you can come buy a t-shirt. You can donate. Our goal is 25,000. This is our biggest fundraiser. This helps maintain chairs, buy chairs, angel athletes that are looking to maybe do their first marathon. Not because there goes so much into healthcare, so not everybody has that extra money to, get to a race or pay for a race. So I really love the fact that some of the money used can be done to that. And then it all stays local. Rooster doesn't say, "Hey, you got to send us the 25,000 and we'll put you on a budget." That stays right here in our local ambassadorship. So when we do the Indy
That's
Mini,
cool.
takes care of all of that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So for people who are local, we're the north central Indiana.
Yep.
is the name of our ambassadorship. And also Rooster is Ainsley's dad, for anybody who does not know. And he was on this podcast, so go listen to his episode, was so good. I got to meet Rooster last year at the Indy Mini. And I met him and I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know he was going to be there. I had already signed up for Marine Corps at that time, so it just was so special to be able to meet him. I also wanted to talk about the Indy Mini because I'm assuming you're doing it this year and I'll be there as well. How many times have you run the Indy Mini with the Ainsleys?
Gosh, you ask a lot of questions that I don't always keep.
I was like, you don't have a spreadsheet like I do?
Do you really have a spreadsheet?
Oh, I have a spreadsheet,
Oh
Shannon.
my God. I can't even tell you. I can tell you, I don't know. I've been running with them since almost 10 years now, just since like Christy began, maybe a year or two after she began. So I don't know, maybe five or six of them, the
Okay.
minis I've done, countless 5Ks, 2 marathons now. Gosh, I'm trying to think what else. I'm not a swimmer. So when I was younger, I had a near-death experience in a swimming pool. And so if you come on the 7th, you will meet, or I don't know if you've met Kelly Wright, but Kelly and I
I
traveled.
think so.
We traveled the US. We've probably done 5 or 6 states together, marathon wise. We would pick a state and go do a marathon. She had a daughter who passed away, and we ran together, but she was an angel rider. So Kelly and I got this great idea before she had kids that we would do a triathlon, and neither one of us are great swimmers. We were like, I don't know, the fifth to last person out of the water when we did it. We did the Cicero one, and we made up for it in
Okay.
the run. But yeah, her daughter Bella passed away. And so last year she passed away January 10th. And so last year we honored Bella during our 4x4x48. Kelly and I have been friends for, oh my gosh, my daughter is 32 today, and Kelly was her 5th grade teacher. So we've been friends that long.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna not cry, but my husband did CPR on Bella. Downfall to living in a small town. So that was a
Wow.
tough one.
Yeah. And is this Bella Rose?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My niece is Bella Rose. And so I think I was on Facebook in the Ainsley's Angels group and saw earlier this month them honoring Bella Rose. What a beautiful, beautiful girl. Yeah, I'm so sorry for your loss. Oh,
Yeah, that was a
that
tough
is
one,
so hard.
but it was great to be able to. Her and Kelly were going to run last year for the first time the entire 48. They've ran with us before, but not the entire 48. So last year she ran the 48 with us. So, and she lives right down the street from the gym. So she didn't spend the night with us, but she came each time.
Yeah, that's wow, what a special way to honor Bella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
man.
was.
Ooh.
Okay, so that was a good one.
So yeah, it's like, okay, let's whew. Yeah, there's so many stories like that, through the Ainsley's Angels family, and it's so inspiring to be able to run for more than just yourself. I tell people the reason I got into Ainsley's Angels is because, I run so many races. I'm like, I should just give back to somebody else who doesn't get to have this experience all the time. And so it's been really incredible to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if I can come up to Kokomo on that weekend. I would love to be involved for sure.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come do a leg or two with us and see what it's about. Bring your daughters, have them ride their
Right.
bikes if they want, or they can run too. So we make it a family affair. My grandkids
Yeah, I love that. I still can't believe you have grandkids. Okay. So let's go back because you've been running, Shannon, for about 30 years.
a long time.
That's a long time. So how did you get into the sport of running? How did you find running?
So I was in 5th grade and we had track call out, and I have always kind of been athletic, but not really much for team sports. Just you can't always count on somebody. And so if I messed up, I wanted it to be because of something I did, not because of somebody else. So running is just that. It's just you. So yeah, I did track, short distance, most of my, actually all of my high school life. I did track. And then Mr. Bennett, Kenny Bennett, who was my track coach growing up, he was a distance person and he was like, I think you should really try, some long distance. So I did. My first marathon was Chicago, early 2000. And then I just,
Oh, and how old were you when you did your first marathon?
I think maybe I take advantage or I don't know. So 2000, I was born in 77.
Okay.
I wish I was like you. I saw you guys yesterday putting together your bibs and times, and I just, I mean, I can't, I would even have to go back and look online somewhere to tell you what my time was, even.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's either that's the way you are or you're to the extreme. I don't know how much, in between there is, but so Chicago was your first. Chicago was my first.
Really?
10, 10, 10
Okay.
was my first marathon. So if you remember that first marathon, it seems like since you've been running for so long, you were kind of hooked from that point, or were you like never again and took a big break, or what did that evolution look like?
No, no, we were hooked. So I say we because Kelly ran it with me. We went to Utah, Colorado. We decided, hey, we're going to travel and hit a different marathon in every state.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Before kids, I had this group of women that I would do that with, and it was the best. Just the best. Got to get back at it. Now that our kids are getting a little bit older, it's easier to get away. But I love that. How many states have you done? Or do
13.
you know,
Yep,
Shannon?
I do know that. 13 states.
Okay, so are you going for all 50, I would assume?
Well, I mean, I would like to, because you get a letter from the president and all that good stuff.
You
Um,
do?
yeah,
I
of
did
a
not know that.
friend. His name is Earl Strong, and he ran a marathon in all 50 states.
Oh, that's cool. So are you part
Yeah.
of the club then?
I used to be a part of the Club Kokomo, Roadrunners, but life, things like
Yeah,
that.
yes. I've never been part of a run club
Really?
in all the years that I've been running. Yeah. Because also just kids and I just run kind of just when I can get it in and I'm lucky enough to do that usually during the day. So,
I know I
yeah.
see you with your girlfriends or the girls you run with, on the trail. Is that the Monon?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what out of those 18, what are some standout experiences that you've had?
Utah, my first experience with real cowboys on horses, corralling the cows across where we were running.
Okay, across, like you had to stop.
Yep. Yeah. And the hurdle of cows were going across. So you waited for them to go and then you went.
Okay. Well, I hope you weren't going for time. For me,
No.
the type A, that would be like, I would freak out.
It was kind of unexpected. So I don't think they were like expecting marathoners and cows to be crossing the same path at the same time. So, and
Okay,
it was
that's
out.
wild.
So they bust you all the way 26.2 miles out. It was Logan, Utah, and then you had to run it.
I did a race in Utah where they bus you to the top of a mountain and then you run down. And
Okay.
that was pretty cool. No cows to be seen, but it was my PR for quite a while because of gravity. I almost felt like it was cheating, which is why they probably changed the Boston qualifier stuff for those types of races.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so and have you done some of the 18? Are those races you've done multiple times? Like have you gone back to Chicago?
Nope, never been back to Chicago, but like the Monumental, I've ran like 4 times.
Oh my gosh, I'm surprised. It's so funny. Our paths have crossed a lot. Like you've probably been at the Indy Mini the last 2 years that I've been there with Ainsley's Angels, and we just never met.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so crazy. And with Monumental as well. So let's talk about family a little bit too in the mix of all this, because not only are you a mom, but you're also a grandma, which is crazy. Do you have a specific grandma name?
Yes, I go by Nani.
Noni. How is that spelled? Noni?
Yep.
Okay, where did that come from?
I have a friend, her name is Terry Rose, and she went by Nani. I guess it's Italian for grandma, maybe something like that.
Okay.
And she was a younger grandma, and I was like, yeah, I really like that. I'm just not a grandma. Your typical grandma.
Right. Yeah. You're certainly not. It's just to me, yeah, wrapping my head around the fact that you're about to turn 50 and you're a grandma kind of blows my mind. I'm sure you get that a lot. You probably surprise the heck out of people.
It is. It's like, have you ever played that icebreaker, Two Truths and a Lie?
Oh, yeah.
I was an average skydiver for a while. So I'd always say, like, skydiving, I'm a grandma, and I would say, like, I have a pet lizard.
That's crazy, Shannon. I love that. We left off, we were talking about family, Noni, and then you also casually mentioned that you are an average skydiver.
Yeah.
So will you tell people what that means?
You take an 8-hour course and you do accelerated free fall. So I actually pulled my own chute. This is my very first
Wow.
time. And here I am landing. Let's see.
What does accelerated free fall mean?
It just means that you do it all on your own. It's accelerated, so the class was all about acceleration of the free fall. So you learn about your altimeter, when you pull your shoe, about your backup shoe. Yeah, so I was like, I want to do it, and then I was kind of addicted.
Yeah, that's insane.
Um,
So you were diagnosed with breast cancer in 2009. That's what kind of,
Yeah.
inspired you to do the skydiving stuff. How did you find the cancer?
So I went for a routine doctor's appointment, but I had told him like I had had some tenderness, and 2009. I'm not very old at that point in time. I don't even know, to be honest. I just remember the year, and I just remember being like, it was tender. I knew it wasn't supposed to be, and so we did a mammogram. I was newly divorced, and I did not have health care.
Oh my gosh.
So those parts of that year was a lot of learning and realizing how important healthcare is. I went on to get my master's degree in public administration and healthcare because I realized that, healthcare is super important. But I also kind of became adrenaline junkie during that time too. But I had a lumpectomy. I did oral chemo. I opted not for intravenous chemo, and then I opted not to do radiation as well.
Okay.
Just after doing some like reading on that, and once you do radiation in that spot, you can't ever do it again. My doctors felt like they had got the tissue and the surrounding tissue. And so I felt like I was blessed to find it early.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 daughters, so they have since tested for the BRCA gene
Ah,
and are negative, so that's a positive.
yes.
My oldest daughter is a nurse practitioner, so she went into healthcare, and my other daughter went into psychology. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, a lot in there, sorry.
No, that is a lot though, especially to just be coming off of a divorce, getting this crazy news, having to navigate the healthcare system. Like, can you get healthcare once you have a diagnosis like that? Because obviously that's, factors into that.
Yeah, so the answer was no. And the other problem was I sold real estate at that time. And so I couldn't get it through my employer because I was an independent contractor. Yeah, so during, 2009, those were kind of different years. Things are probably a little bit different now. And then I made too much money for like Medicaid and things like that.
So did you just have to pay outright?
I did. Unfortunately, I had a new Jeep Wrangler at the time. I had to sell it. I went down to a Mazda 3. And, I used to do a lot of traveling and things like that. So things changed
Yeah.
because I was literally, oral chemo at the time, you're talking almost $4,000 a month in medicine. Yeah.
I mean, wow. You could just do anything, Shannon. Resilience, clearly. That had to be crazy. So how long was your treatment period?
About a year.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. And then how often do you go back for scans?
So I go back every year, just like a normal. At first, it was 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year.
Okay.
And then so now I just go back yearly. I've had a few issues like precancerous cells they found. It has been, maybe talked to about maybe doing a double mastectomy. And yeah, as a woman, it's a big thing. So I don't know that I'm there yet, but
Yeah.
maybe in the future.
Yeah. Wow. So does that drive a lot of what you do? It seems like you're just so passionate about doing things that are crazy that adrenaline junkie. And then also you're just so passionate about giving back to the community in so many different ways. Like, do you think that started with that period of your life or was it already there?
I think I've always wanted to do something. I always talk about when I guest speak for things that I feel like I really have a servant's heart. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a leader in that aspect too, and I feel like I make a good leader because I know how to serve first. And I think in order to lead, you need to know how to serve.
Amen.
And so I think a lot of our leaders don't do that now. They just,
No.
yeah,
Boss people around and think that's leadership.
yeah. So I think because I do a lot of serving and I don't need a title to be recognized, I feel like that allows me to do a lot. I carry a lot of titles, but I just really am Shannon Spencer. Community catalyst, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, community catalyst. Yeah, I don't even know if that's, I mean, it's strong enough of a word. So, what do you do now for work, your professional side of things? Quick break in the show to make you aware of an upcoming event that I am hosting that will be both in person and virtual. It is a Galentine's Day run. So either on Galentine's Day, which is Friday the 13th, or all throughout the month of February, run a 10K in honor of the organization Free to Move. If you listen to the recent episode with Abby Lotkus, you will know that Free to Move is an organization with a mission to foster a safer and stronger world for women, focusing on their safety, empowerment, and education. It was founded in honor of Dr. Alyssa Lotkus. And if you want to support this organization or simply just get together, run a 10K for Galentine's Day, I will put a link to the race in the show notes. It's free. You have the option of donating between $5 and $20 if you'd like. All those funds will go to Free to Move. Otherwise, it's just a way to raise awareness for this amazing organization. Women should be able to run safely wherever and whenever they want. So check out the link in the show notes or follow me on Instagram, Allie, ALLYT Brett, BRETT. That's Allie T Brett _runs. I will be sharing about it a lot there as well. If you do the virtual, please be sure to share. The awareness of this is a big part of it. So, all right, now back to the show. So what do you do now for work, your professional side of things?
So I work in healthcare. So I work for Angels of Mercy Home Health. So they're a licensed home health agency.
Wow.
And so I'm the account executive. So I go to doctors' offices, and my son says I have a boring job. One day he went to work with me. He's like, all you do is drive around, go in and talk to people, and then go to the next place and do the same thing. I was like, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And oh gosh, yeah, that's also an important job to have because it serves the community in such an important way. Because, I've had aging grandparents and, my parents are certainly getting older and it's important.
And then it goes back to insurance. You get, October of every year, you get insurance salespeople calling your parents if they're over 65, trying to get them to change Medicare, Humana, Advantage plans, like traditional Medicare. That's where it's at.
Yeah. I know nothing yet. So,
Yeah.
okay. So have you done anything special related to breast cancer, like runs or walks or things like that?
I did this Susan B. Komen a few times. This is going to sound weird, maybe, I don't know. I feel like though I had ductal cancer, so many women end up with mastectomies or, so many other bad things. And I feel like I was blessed to get it at such a young and early stage. My story doesn't even compare to some of theirs. I know I shouldn't feel that way,
Yeah.
but sometimes I do. So I also think maybe because it's been such a blessing that I didn't, go through so much that I want to give back to others that maybe did, that have.
Yeah. I can see that. It's still cancer,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
obviously there are varying degrees, but still. So then you became a skydiver, which is I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
And what else was on that kind of bucket list for you?
Let's see. Really just I really 2 years ago, I went to Spencer, Indiana, and it's called the toughest Indiana trail race, and you could do the 50K or the 50 miler. I signed up for the 50 miler, and they were like, I really think that you should, because it was my first year. Are you familiar with this race?
I don't think so. I'd have to Google it to make sure I haven't seen it, but I don't recall.
Yeah, it's on a horse trail. So like the horse trail is not very big. And it's Spencer, Indiana. So I was like, oh, Shannon Spencer.
Right. Cute.
So,
Yes.
so that's kind of my race that got away from me because I let them talk me into the 50K, which was fine. I still was like only one of 18 finishers. Yeah. And I
Wow.
think I was like number 14 or 13, something like that. I'd have to go back and look. But it is really one of the toughest. But anyway, they had got like monsoon rain and weather
Oh,
like the day before, and they were just like, it's going to be really bad. And they were like, we want you to be able to finish. So I was like,
yeah.
okay. So I did that. So I would really, really love to do a 50-mile race. That's something I really want to do. But I feel like I went to Ireland and I did a 5K in Ireland.
Oh, that's cool.
I I feel, skydiving, that was something I had my fear of swimming, so I did a triathlon. I think once I maybe hit the 50-mile race and the 100-mile race.
Then you'll be like, I did it.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, as someone who has yet to tackle a 50K, which I never thought I'd even have interest in doing, the 50-mile and 100-mile just seems that much crazier. But, the more people I talk to in this community, the more approachable it feels. Even though it sounds insane, it's like people do it.
Have you ever done like an 8-hour race?
Okay, no, I was going to ask you about yours because you've done that also a couple of times.
Yeah, in Danville, Illinois, they have what's called the Howl at the Moon, and it's an
Okay.
8-hour race. You have to register. You still got time. You can make this your first year. On Earth Day is when they open up, and that's your registration. And then I think it's in August.
Okay.
But I've done that twice. I didn't get to 50 miles, but there's some people that do get to 50 miles or that time. Some of them
Yeah.
just run a half marathon or a marathon. What about the Beast? Have you done that?
What is that?
So Ainsley's Angels does it, and it's
Okay.
a 12-hour race, and it's a loop that you do. I did it. This is my second time to do it, but I usually just do a marathon and stop. So
Just.
so I was thinking this year because I think it's super hot, so maybe it's in like July or August to maybe
Okay.
just try doing the full 12 hours this year and not stop. So
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, I'm trying to think of the closest thing I've done. The closest thing I've done to that is a Ragnar relay. Have you done a Ragnar?
I have not. I would like to do
Okay.
that.
That would be so fun. I think Ainsley's Angels has done Ragnars. I don't know if they do them consistently every year, but it's like you have 2 vans. You got 12 people total, 6 per van, and it was like 200 and something miles. We went from Traverse City to Muskegon. And so that gave me the experience of like running on little sleep. I didn't have to run in the middle of the night, but others did. And it was gave that kind of the vibe of how people are doing these crazy races where they're up for even longer than that and running further. Like I think collectively I only ran like 18 miles over the course of the weekend. So some of those races just seem crazy. I don't know how.
That seems cool though. I would be
It's
down for that.
It's fun because they assign different legs to each runner. And so in advance, exactly how much is assigned to you. But I do like the idea of the 8-hour, 12-hour concept where you're just doing as much as you possibly can. Have you ever done a backyard ultra?
Huh.
So there's this backyard ultra in September in Noblesville, Indiana called Prairie on Fire. They just released a documentary on YouTube.
Okay.
There were 4 women last year who got to 100 miles, and the winner of the females got to 112 miles. But it's every hour on the hour you run 4.167 miles, as fast or as slow as you want. But at the top of every hour, you have to be back at the start line.
Okay.
And you just do as many as you want. You could do 1 if you want, and they call them yards. You can do 1, you can do, I forget, math is hard. I forget, it's like 20 some for 100. I can't remember. And then some people, like, I think the record is like almost 500 miles, like that somebody's gone. Not here in Indiana, but
Yeah.
in other places. So anyway, that sounds right up your alley. It's
How
top
many
of mind because I
hours is
just
that?
watched that. As many as you want,
As many as you want. Okay.
or as many as you can physically do. So
In a 24-hour period of time?
no, and
No?
it can go longer than that. So every hour on the hour, and the race doesn't end until there's only 1 runner left.
Okay.
So I forget how many the winner ran, but it was like over 24 hours that the race was happening. So you just go as many as you can.
Okay.
Which the concept to me is just so interesting because certainly finishing a marathon, most of those finish lines, if not every single one, I gave all that I could give, or so it felt like, right? And so thinking about turning around and doing that again. But I felt that way about the half marathon before I did a marathon. So it's kind of like, you train for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then we talked a little bit about your kids. We didn't talk much about your grandkids, but I wanted to talk about running with your kids. So do your daughters run? Do your grandkids run? Tell us a little bit about that. And your son, of course, does he run?
Yeah, so in their younger days, yes, we would do 5Ks together all the time. Then they became soccer players, and I think a lot because of the running. And just recently, Ray Tetrault passed away. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Uh-uh.
He's a pastor here, but he also started Coyote Kids.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think, I wish I would be better at this year thing. But I would say maybe 20 plus years ago, right around in there, he started it. And it's a free running program for the kids. Oh
Oh,
my gosh, it's amazing. A 50-yard dash for like kids 2 years old.
yeah.
Um,
Yes.
a quarter, for those that are one. And you see the parents out there, everybody gets a ribbon and a popsicle. So I love that. So my daughters, I think they were probably like 10 or something when that started, 6 and 10. And so they did that for several years. And then now my grandkids do it,
Oh,
which I think this year they're up to a mile. So this year they'll run a mile.
that's so cool. So how does that work? Is it once a year? Is it like a weekly thing? How does that work?
Yeah, it's 6 weeks. It's during the summer.
Oh,
They
okay.
take the 4th of July off, and it's in the evening. It starts at like 6 o'clock, and they get lots of sponsors around the community. But it is
Yeah.
really neat to see. Oh, the kids get a time. They get a little chip as they're older, and it's laid out in Jackson Morrow Park, so it's a lot of fun. It's just exciting, and it's free. Like,
Yeah.
all you have to do is get there, show up, you get a popsicle. Now, I mean, I'm competitive, so I'm not a huge fan of everybody getting a ribbon. I might offend somebody, but it is cute for the little kids
Yeah.
that you're 1 years old, 2 years old, and you got this little Coyote Kid ribbon. It's pretty cool. The ribbons don't mean anything, just that you participated.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I want my girls to run. My oldest, there's a mile race every year that we have in the summer from Beyond Monumental, the organization I'm a part of, and yeah, it's just so fun to share my love of running with them. My 8.5-year-old is getting interested in doing like a 5K, something a little bit more, but I also just want to be so cautious of I don't want them to feel like they have to just because I do. But I wish we had more programs around here for younger kids because once they get old enough, there's other programs around. But for my 8.5-year-old, there's not really much for her to do. I wish there was.
You could start Coyote Kids where you're at.
I mean, just believe me, Shannon. There's so many things I want to do, and I'm like, okay, I can't do it all, sadly. But I would love for somebody listening to start that or tell me that something exists that I didn't know about, because that would be great
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
We live on 7 acres, and so we live in a rectangle. And so I'll be 49 February 21st, and the 131 events down at Eagle Creek has the winter trail run or whatever. So I'll do that.
Okay.
But since it's kind of trailish in our yard, I have a little trail. If you do 2 laps around, then it's 1 mile. So my
Okay.
granddaughter that is 6, she'll do that with me in the summertime.
Oh, that's so cute. That's the
And
best.
yes, and my son, he does not like running. He wrestles. So I tell him he has to run to keep his weight down. So so I'm like, you can run with me. So on occasion, he'll run around the yard with me. We live on a country road too, so I know if I go down and back once is 2 miles. So he'll get on his bike. Because a lot of times, I mean, my husband is gone 24 hours at a time. So
Right.
it's just him and I in the evening.
Yeah.
Instead of just staring at each other, we try to find things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. How did you meet Josh, your husband?
Oh, I met him at Dairy Queen.
Naturally.
Yeah, yeah. My daughters and I were in eating ice cream, and he was in with his brother. I didn't like him at first, and he hit on me in front of the girls, and it's funny because he's like, "Don't I know you?" And I was like, "No, I don't. And he's like, at the time I sold real estate and I had a billboard up. And he was like, oh, you have a billboard.
Oh.
He stole my phone number from the billboard and texted me.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
he
that's
didn't
kind
give
of
up.
cute.
Yeah.
What made you, what was the turning point where you're like, okay, I do like this guy?
I don't, maybe his persistence.
He just wore you down.
Because actually, too, I'm actually almost 9 years older than him.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, he just turned
I love
40
it.
in July.
Okay.
So we had our son through in vitro because
Yeah.
I wasn't able to have him natural. The chemo just didn't work out very well. So we did in vitro to have him.
Wow. Did it take a long time for that?
You know what? I cannot say enough about God and just how I owe him everything because at the end of the day, he's blessed me. Again, I feel horrible, but it was only one time. We had three embryos, two took, and we lost our second embryo about 9 weeks into it. But we have Leland.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Gentry was my doctor, and he just kept saying, you only need one embryo, Shannon. How many are you? And I was like, one. He was
Yep.
absolutely just amazing in that process. So again, I feel bad because I know people unfortunately struggle with fertility, never get to be a mom. And I was blessed for whatever reason within that first time. So
Yeah. Oh. Where does his name come from, Leland?
so the other things he does is race. So he races
Okay.
quarter midgets, which he goes about 40, 50 miles an hour around a track. He has for since he was like
Okay.
7.
Wait, what is a quarter midget? What is that?
Um,
Oh,
I'm trying. I don't even have a picture of it in here. It's a sprint car. So a sprint car. Are you
okay.
familiar
Oh,
with
I have seen
NASCAR?
pictures of this on your Instagram now that you say it. Yes.
Yeah. So a sprint car. So a quarter midget is a quarter of a sprint car.
Okay.
So he races. Now, why was I telling you that?
Because of his name. His name,
Yes. Okay.
Leland.
Yeah. So my husband, he's raced for 28 years. He's friends with people like Kyle Larson and NASCAR, Chris Bell.
Okay.
Leland McSpadden. He is called the Tempe Tornado, and he's a race car driver.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
You got to be fast then. I guess you're named after a race car driver. That's a little pressure.
yeah, and it's super scary for me. Like 2 years ago, I
Hmm.
jumped the fence at the race car track. They told me I couldn't do that anymore.
You're like, I will. Like, watch me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I'm a mom. Like, you
Yeah.
have to understand that that's just what's going to happen. Wow.
That's why
Oh,
I CrossFit.
yeah. And we have mentioned CrossFit a couple of times, but it seems to be such a big part of your life. How long have you been CrossFitting?
At the gym that I'm at right now, almost 3 years. I've done it at another gym prior to that, but this gym is a real community. I don't. Do you follow any CrossFitters or talk to
So
any of
I used to CrossFit when my husband and I, before kids, we lived in Broad Ripple, and there was a gym called the Broad Ripple Fit Club. Just this lovely couple owned it, Jeff and Jesse, and they built a community. So when you say that, I like totally resonate with that because CrossFit was scary. I thought it was just going to be all these jacked gym bros who were like not very friendly, you know. And
Yeah.
instead, it was quite the opposite. So yeah, so I get it a little bit. I do miss that. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. 6 a.m., that's the class I go to. 5 a.m., we run. We run 5 miles, and then we do our 6 a.m. CrossFit class. That's like weekly routine. They're amazing. I mean, they pick you up when you're down. They cheer you on, when you're having a good time. The support is unreal. When I do the 4x4x48, I mean, the CrossFitters are like, oh, I don't want to run. But then the kids show up, and it's like, I can't even explain it. The feeling you get is just like overwhelming because, these kids are hugging you, and you're making them become an athlete, and they're like, dang, this is really cool. So there's a lot of parents that would never get to experience like their kid crossing the finish line. Can you imagine your daughters, like,
Yeah.
if they
No.
wanted, or even just not even being able to experience that with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when my son wins a race and he does a cage stand, it's where they stand up on the top of their car. Like, it's an overwhelming feeling like, hey, that's my son. He just won. The same
Yeah.
feeling when you're pushing them across that finish line. I mean, they get to experience
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I cannot wait for the Indy Mini, and maybe even before that for the 4x4x48.
Yeah.
Are you signed up to do any other races this year? You mentioned the 50 miles that you want to look for. Anything else that you do every year?
I'm doing that I told you, that trail run for my birthday.
Okay.
That's just
Oh yeah, the Winter Trail Frosty.
yeah.
Yep.
It's 13.1, and then the Indy Mini. I mean, that's the 50th running, you know.
I know. I'm so pumped.
I even have one of our CrossFit coaches and our gym owner is thinking about, running it. So I think being the 50th is exciting.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw another marathon in there somewhere. Do you like running in the heat? Are you a hot?
No.
Yeah.
I don't like running in the heat or the extreme cold. I mean, it'd be great if it was just nice, like the perfect weather, but I would prefer running in the cold to the heat.
Exactly. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
The cold. So if I find one, maybe October, November, I'd like to maybe, I don't like repeating the same race. I have the Monumental because it's local and everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
How about the Flying Pig? Have you done that?
I've been asked that a lot. It's something on my list because it's always the day after the Indy Mini, right? So I do the Indy Mini every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of a non-negotiable. If I can do it, I'm going to do it. I think I've missed it twice since 2007. But I've seen people do both. Mm-hmm. Like that, literally, they're running the Mini. They've got a Flying Pig shirt on, and I'm like, "Hey, you running tomorrow?" And they're like, "Yep." So it's not out of the question that I could just pack up and then go the next day and run in Cincinnati. But have you done it?
Years ago, before I started doing the Indy Mini, yes, it's hilly.
Okay. Yeah. So that's another thing. You're like, oh, okay, well, I like my flat and fast, but
So it's different. What about Disney? I really would love to do the 5K, 10K, half, and then full. I'd like to do that.
Yeah. I've a lot of friends who have done the Dopey. Yeah.
Is that what it's called, Dopey? Yeah.
Yep. That would be right up your alley. Yeah. Right. You're like super dumb to do this. The problem, it's so hard. Like a lot of these races are just getting so hard to get into. Like the Disney stuff, you have to kind of know exactly what you're doing to get in at the right time. So for me, I've just kind of been like, eh. And my 4-year-old does not want to go to Disney, if you can believe that.
Wow.
She is terrified of mascots. Terrified. Oh. So she knows that there'll be mascots of characters, and she wants nothing to do with that. So we'll see if that changes as she gets older. But
what about the New York? I would like to, I think it's March or April. That is something that I am trying to maybe do this year, is fundraise for it. I would like to fundraise for it. Do you know anybody that's got into that or done it?
Yeah, so I have. 2018, I ran for Alex's Lemonade Stand.
Okay.
And then one of my recent guests, Hallie Patel, she ran her first marathon last year at New York.
Okay.
And who'd she fundraise for? Therapists Beyond Borders.
Okay.
And then her husband, she's going to coach him to run it this year, and he's running for Team for Kids.
Okay.
So there's a lot of nonprofits, great causes to support at New York. It was an amazing experience, not one that I necessarily would do again, maybe for the right time in my life, but it was just the logistics are, as you would expect, for the biggest marathon in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
So am I right? Everything I read says like March, April, they open up.
I forget. I wonder. New York Marathon. The drawing is in February. So if you want to enter the lottery, you can do that from February 4th to 25th. And then March 4th is when people will find out.
Okay.
And then official charity partners will be announced in the spring. So yeah, you're right. Like March, April, they'll say which charities are fundraising, which teams you could join. So there you go. Go do it.
I just figure marathon wise, my past few I've pushed. So they're 4 hours. I'm not going to be fast enough to qualify.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just figured, hey, charity, I love helping others. And if I could find one that aligned with what, I like, I would like to do that. I've never done a charity race like that before.
Yeah. For me, I did it kind of to get in. Like my friend was doing it through this charity and I was like, well, if you're going to run, I want to run. I think it'd be even more special to run for an organization that, either you're involved in or that has like a really personal, tie. For me, of course, like running for kids that have cancer, I was like, well, if I'm hurting, I'm just going to think about the kids that have cancer because that for their parents and for the kids is much harder than running a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like winning for Kendall Jade.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. I still like I remember that morning. It's like we look at each other. We're just kind of like, okay, well, I had no idea how fast or slow you ran. You had no idea like what kind of runner I was. We just kind of figured it out.
Yep.
And I had never pushed for a 5K before. And so it's like, well, it's a pretty short amount of time. I'm pretty sure I pushed for the first mile and then you pushed, I think, the rest of the time, because by the time we got to mile 3, I was just trying to keep up. So it was so fun though.
We made a good team. It was good.
We did make a good team. Absolutely. So, all right. What didn't we talk about that you perhaps want to share or want to talk more about?
I mean, really just, Ainsley's Angels in the 4x4x48. Just reminding people that even like you just said, a 5K, I mean, 3.1 miles, it seems like a lot. You and I together, we could probably run for a couple hours just talking.
For
It
sure.
doesn't have to be about speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, I think that's too, in my younger days, that was all I thought about. I got to be a 145. I got to be a 340.
Yeah.
And once I hit those, I was like, now what?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
now I want to enjoy the moment.
Yes.
You posted a video and you said, if you wear your earbuds, you couldn't hear this.
Yes.
The same concept of if you're just hitting the pavement to hurry up and knock those miles out, you don't get to enjoy the beauty around you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts sometimes. I come up with some great ideas.
So do I. If only my memory was good enough to remember them by the time I got home.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I relate to that a lot. I haven't hit the times that I want yet. I would love to go to Boston, but what I've decided and what I've talked to my coach about is, I want to train hard, but I'm not going to be going after PRs all the time. And so last year was a no PR year on purpose. I just wanted to enjoy my experiences, like going to Marine Corps. And then this year I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. So, I'll just maybe go for some distance now that I'm turning 40. Maybe there's an ultra marathon that I, might do before or after. I haven't committed to anything. It feels like on the internet, everybody knows what they're doing for like the whole calendar year. Like, here are all the races I'm doing. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to just get through Q1 here,
I saw your big calendar though. That's a
I
good.
do have I like to know when races are. It's kind of nice to have that like snapshot of like, oh yeah, when is that race? Not necessarily ones that I'm doing, that's for sure. If only.
Besides Boston, what's a race that you're like, yeah, I could get behind that?
You're asking me such good questions. It's so nice of you to ask questions back to me. I appreciate it.
I'm
so
really
used to.
curious.
I'm not used to people asking me the questions. Probably Sydney, Australia, because my oldest daughter is named Sydney. So, not something I would want to do until maybe she's old enough to perhaps do it with me, or really enjoy the trip and remember it. So that'd be a bucket list. I've been to Sydney. It's been probably 20 years since I've been there. So definitely want to go back there. I've not done an international race at all. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Not even a 5K when you went there?
No, not even a 5K.
Would you
Yep.
do a marathon, or if you went there, would it just be a
I would love to do the marathon because it's a world
Okay.
major now, but it wouldn't have to be that. Yeah, there's plenty of other races there too, I'm sure.
I was just saying one more question. Like, I love Sarah Hall. Like,
Oh.
she's just someone if I could meet her, Ryan, I would love it. Like, who's someone like that I don't like the word idolize, or who's someone that like you really like their story, you enjoy watching them and seeing them.
I just finished her book, and so at this moment in time, Dina Castor would be up there.
Okay.
She has a book called Let Your Mind Run or something like that, like where she talks a ton about the mental side of the sport and what worked for her and just her whole kind of running career. I didn't know much about it, frankly. I haven't followed the sport that closely. I'm starting to get more interested in it now, it being such a big part of my life. But yeah, she'd probably be up there. I did get to meet Sarah Hall 2 years ago at Monumental. I got to interview her, which was insane. I blacked out, so I have no idea what happened, but it did happen.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, she was very sweet, and I can't wait till her book. I don't know if her book's coming out this year, but I know she's writing one, so
I
I'm
think
excited.
it's in April. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
there you
Pretty
go.
older.
Okay, and one more thing, you also have a sauna. I almost forgot about that because I just
Yes,
got a
yes.
sauna. So tell me about your sauna.
It's a 2-person sauna. So my husband's
Awesome.
a firefighter. So if you really dig deep into saunas, like it's really great for firefighters. There's actually some vitamins that he takes before he gets in it and really helps like detox that. I am not an ice plunge girl. I can't. I have done it, but I do indie cryo freeze where you get in the
Okay.
cryo. I can
I've
do
done
that.
that. Yeah.
But I love my sauna. I mean, it's 3, 4 times a week. Our gym
Yeah.
has one too, so I love that. But yes, I mean, my back would ache. You get in there,
Ooh, yeah.
stretch in there. So I'll do some stretching in there because as runners we never stretch
I
anyway.
never stretch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
I
very
love
true.
it. Do you love
Yeah.
it?
Love it. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so spoiled, so lucky to have one. And it's really nice. Really nice. Especially right now when it's so cold.
Yes.
I like had to wait for a while to get in it after the run I did in like sub-zero temperatures because I was afraid that it would like shock my body too much going from the extreme cold to extreme heat. Although I think that's part of what some of that stuff is like doing the ice and then going in the sauna. But I didn't know enough, so I was too afraid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people at the gym, they go from the ice bath to the sauna,
Yeah.
or they do sauna, ice bath, sauna. No thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. So if people want to get involved in the 4x4x48, is there a registration? Do you go register? Do you just come as you are? Is there both? What does that
Yes.
look like?
So both. Christy, if you go to the Ainsley's Angels org Facebook page, North Central Indiana, I think it is, she has it pinned up there.
Okay.
I think it's actually through Run Sign Up too.
Okay.
You could do that. That makes it easy because we have riders, sometimes like 20 riders, and we don't have enough people to push. Can you imagine showing up and then not getting pushed? That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
No. Awful. Yeah.
Yes. So if you register as a runner, again, it's all free. And this is only our second year registering because we're learning along as we go. But we're
Yeah.
offering a T-shirt. The T-shirt's $25. But again, you can just show up and not pay anything. Just get to know the people and see what it is we offer. But you go to Facebook. You can call me. I'll give you my phone number,
Okay.
765-437-9149. You can call me and I'll help walk you through. You can get a hold of Christy High on Facebook too. So any of those ways, we would just love for you to come knock out 4 miles anyway. Run,
Yeah.
walk, ride your bike. My son, he rides at 10, 2, and 6 on both days with me. And he
That's
rides his
awesome.
bike.
That's
And he'll be
amazing.
like, come on, Mom, run faster.
All right. I'm going to link that. I'll link the Facebook group in the notes for this so that people can
Okay.
just go look at that or even the run sign up. If there's a link to that, I'll link
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Any of those, yeah. And invite your friends. I'd love for you and your daughters to come.
I know.
Check
I
it
want to
out.
go. Yeah. I'll have to look at our calendar. But yeah, getting up to Kokomo is not too bad from here.
Yeah, straight shot, right?
Straight shot. Yep. Yep.
So,
Uh,
yeah. So, I mean, I'd like for everybody to know that. I mean, obviously, if you're a woman, breast cancer wise, do your self checks. And if you don't have insurance, I always preach about find insurance somewhere. So those are
Yeah.
three of my hot topics.
There
Stay
you go.
healthy.
3 big takeaways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something for somebody else, breast cancer awareness, and insurance. If you don't have it, talk to somebody, call me, I'll help walk you through whatever. I think those
Yeah.
are some important things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you the end of the podcast questions now.
Okay.
There's just 2. What is your favorite running song and or mantra?
So yeah, Rocky, Eye of the Tiger.
I love it too.
I think it's just all about, being an underdog, rising up. And so I always just kind of think of that.
That played, Shannon, when I was walking up the Verrazano Bridge to start the New York City Marathon. Eye of the Tiger was blaring, and I'll just never forget it.
Oh, yeah.
So that song gets me going. Do you have a mantra, like anything you say to yourself when things are hard?
This is going to be funny, but I used to follow a lot of Muhammad Ali too. And when I'm running sometimes and I'm like, I can't do it anymore, he always says, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And if you think about anything like that in life, floating like a butterfly, you're enjoying life. You know what I mean? And there's going to be so many things in life that aren't positive that ends up stinging you like a bee, but it makes you go. So sometimes I just say those things.
I like that. Okay, and then your next finish line or milestone, we've kind of talked about both, right? Like the 4x4x48, and then
Yeah.
A big milestone will be next year when you turn 50, which, again, hard to believe. Any other finish lines or milestones we missed?
No, I think we nailed them all. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I'm bummed we didn't do this in person, but at least I know I get to see you soon. So that
Yes,
helps.
yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this. And thank you for everybody who has listened, and happy running.
Thanks.
Okay, we did it. If you enjoyed this episode of Finish Lines and Milestones from Sandy Boy Productions, please share, rate, review. Head to sandyboyproductions.com. Check out the other running shows in this network. Thank you so much to Amazfit for supporting this podcast. And be sure to check out the show notes again for that Galentine's Day event. Thanks so much. I will see you next week. Bye.